Nobody was prepared. Not even the crowd seated a few steps away from the stage, nor the actors and crew. Everyone thought Rasheeda's uprising during the filming of Love and Hip Hop's most intense reunion to date was just another heated dispute in which she connected Yandy's face live, uncut, and with a sound that reverberated throughout the entire studio. The room erupted as soon as the slap hit. Security was running. Producers were shouting, and Yandy was completely taken aback. However, why it occurred wasn't the more important question. Rasheeda was driven this far by it. For weeks, rumors of betrayal, backstage sabotage, and a startling family secret had been simmering beneath the surface. Additionally, in that it all fell apart in an instant. It was more than just a brawl. Millions of people watched as ties, friendships, and reputations fell apart in real time. Do you believe you understand trust? You still don't know anything. The lights were blazing and the cameras were rolling. The cast of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta was already tense as the reunion taping got underway. The energy was erratic. Cast members weren't merely avoiding inquiries, they were disparaging everyone, but nothing, and we mean nothing, prepared anyone for what Rasheeda was going to do. It began like every other drama around a reunion. Rasheeda, perched on Thickoch, wearing identical heels and a neon green blazer, was clearly irritated. Throughout the majority of the discussion, she had maintained her composure and ignored clever remarks and subtle barbs. However, one individual continued to try her patience. With her knees crossed and her gaze fixed on Rasheeda as if she were waiting for her turn. Yandy Smith Harris. Yandy sat across the stage, and Yandy leaned in with the most arrogant grin when the subject of betrayal came up. The audience froze when you remarked, "Some people pretend to be bosses, but they really just puppets and pearls." Everyone looked at Rasheeda as she slowly uncrossed. "Who you talking about?" she questioned with razor-sharp composure as her legs rose, and Yandy didn't even blink. "If the shoe fits," Rasheeda said as she began to move. At first, production did not respond. They assumed it was only a showy confrontation. This is what these women did all the time. However, Rasheeda continued to walk this time. Her heels pounded like warning bullets as she walked straight across the set. Then, smack! The air crackled with a sound akin to thunder. Yandy's face was so strongly touched by Rasheeda's hand that the microphone feed peaked. The audience yelled when Yandy's head snapped back. Shouts, gasps, complete mayhem. The camera cuts right away, then picks up again in a matter of seconds. Later, Yandy yelled, her jaw clenched, "Oh, so you want to be that girl now? Hit me again." Rasheeda remained silent as security stormed the platform and separated them. With a glare that could pierce concrete, she simply stood there, her chest heaving. Mona Scott Young, host of Dotheried, onto the stage. Indeed, Mona is attempting to diffuse the tension. "Return to your seat, Rasheeda. We don't do this." Still furious, Rasheeda went to Mona and growled, "Next, instruct her to keep my name out of her mouth." The audience was going crazy. The crowd was shouting. Already, phones were out. Tweets like "Rasheeda just slapped Yandy on live TV. What in the multiverse? This reunion just turned into WWE. We're going viral on Twitter. This time, Yandy done pushed the wrong one, and I'm shaken." Rasheeda lost her temper. Additionally, the blogs are already displaying receipts. Here's what fans didn't though. No, it wasn't a random slap. Behind the scenes, it had been developing for weeks. Yandy was allegedly giving outside media confidential information regarding Rasheeda's marital turmoil with Kirk off camera through shady whispers and silent stares. Not just rumors, but behind the scenes, pictures, audio files, and unique texts. The worst part was that she had been using a phony Instagram page that the producers had only recently found to be connected to an intellectual property. Address connected to the Yandy brand team. Therefore, the hurt caused by Rasheeda's slap was more than simply that dubious remark. It was a betrayal. Betrayed confidence. An uncrossable line was crossed. Flashback. Bambi and Erica. Mena had pulled Rasheeda aside 2 weeks prior while she was in her dressing room. "We have something to show you, girl." They gave her a phone. It was a direct message thread with exclusive information about Rasheeda and Kirk from a fictitious blog account named Backstage Tea. Texts and private voice notes regarding their money, including a hazy picture from Rasheeda home. Rasheeda's jaw fell open. How on earth do they obtain this? Erica bent closer. It is said to have originated from Yandy's camp. Rasheeda didn't believe it at first, but she soon began making connections. Even before the scenes were filmed, Yandy always seemed to know what was going on in her personal life. Why, behind Rasheeda's back, was she suddenly so friendly with Jasmine, the woman Kirk had a child with? And why had she lately retweeted a dubious tweet that stated, Some of y'all LHH queens would have been divorced years ago if y'all didn't care so much about optics. Yandy was aware that the remark was obviously about Rasheeda. Rasheeda was therefore already at her breaking point when the reunion filming began. Returning to the live recording, the women were divided by security. Behind the scenes, Mona attempted to mediate. Until both of you give your consent, we cannot broadcast a violent altercation. Rasheeda acted without hesitation. Let it breathe. The consequences of having too many phony friends should be seen by the globe. Yandy was enraged. We are currently doing this, using violence to gain influence. Rasheeda responded with a clap. This isn't for influence. Foreclosure is what this is. Chaos persisted outside the studio. Rasheeda's name was being chanted by fans in the parking lot as if she were a local hero. Hashtag Team Rasheeda became a global trend. Celebrities started to comment. In response to Cardi B's tweet, "Sometimes you need to smack a B*H with love and boundaries," Nicki Minaj said, or just with a backhand. Remy Ma even shared a statement regarding the boundaries of loyalty. It wasn't over. Even though Yandy had just discovered Rasheeda's that evening, Rasheeda left the studio with the knowledge that everything had been captured on video. Alright. Because of the reality, she also desired them. She had more to share. With her eyes bright and her voice taut with urgency, Mona Scott Young dragged the executive team into a secluded production tent as the studio shook from the aftermath of the smack. She said, "We can't just ignore this. This is the future of hip-hop and love. If we fail to anticipate it, it might turn into a PR catastrophe." Yandy, meantime, was pacing wildly backstage with her glam squad, icing her cheeks. "You guys just let her to hit me on tape. You want us to draft a statement?" Her assistant muttered, but Yandy had other ideas. She checked her Instagram stories after taking out her phone. Before the bloggers misrepresent it, "Let me to clarify," she said, "Hey," and hit record. "I didn't leak anything," Kay said. Perhaps Rasheeda should consider why she is concealing the truth in the first place if she is unable to cope with its revelation. Boom. It was a war. In a matter of minutes, the post became viral. Rasheeda, however, was not going to back down. Her own receipts and baby were already being gathered. They were lethal. Cut to the following morning. On Instagram, Rasheeda goes live. Raw emotion and cold proof, no gloss or filters. Let me help you all recall who actually initiated this, since Yandy wants to pretend that she has never sent out private combos. She displays a screen grab of a direct message exchange between Yandy's assistant and the fictitious backstage gossip account, which includes some video of Rasheeda sobbing in her dressing room. "Do you want it? Go viral, please. I'll mail it right now." The messages have a distinct, clear voice. Yandy's helper, but Rasheeda doesn't end there. When she approached Jasmine too closely, "I said nothing." When she liked shady tweets about my marriage, "I said nothing." However, she is currently playing with my family and business. No, not just now. On her live stream, the comments went bananas. Yandy was apprehended. Rasheeda, "Oh my god, GG. Too calm for this mess. Queen, every record is going to be broken by this reunion. I sense it." Productions arranged for Yandy, Mona, and the executive team to have an urgent meeting later that day. The cameras were in motion. Yandy arrived accompanied by her legal counsel and public relations representative, clearly shaken. "I have to safeguard my brand," she stated. "I'm not going to be painted as the bad guy here." Mona reclined. "Then be truthful. Was Rasheeda's private video leaked by your team?" Yandy hesitated, swallowed, then gave a thoughtful response. "Not on purpose." Mona tightened her jaw. "What does that mean, girl?" Yandy moved around in her chair. "My inbox is accessible to one of my interns. I never instructed anyone to distribute those clips. Even though they might have gotten a little lengthy. The karma was just provided by Rasheeda." Bambi had a stern expression. "Do you believe Yandy will take revenge?" Carly grinned. "She had better not." Rasheeda received more receipts, more than CVS in her purse. There were already rumors circulating that Rasheeda had left another voicemail. This time from a private group conversation in which Yandy was heard stating, "Damn, that's low," she muttered. Rasheeda brand weak without Kirk's scandals. She ain't that interesting solo. Even Carly, the queen of messy, raised an eyebrow. Cut to the boardroom of VH1 Chuan boardroom. Now, the producers are contemplating whether to redo the reunion program with less of Yandy's defense and more of Rasheeda's truth. One executive stated, "We can control the narrative, but we can't ignore the slap." Emails were sent. Agreements were renegotiated. In a daring move, Rasheeda insisted that her uncut Instagram live be shown in full screen during the reunion special. Mona responded, "No cuts, no censorship." Indeed. Why? because ratings are truthful. In just one day, 10 million people had watched the trailer. The official reunion advertisement said, "She gave her a slap." However, why? Rasheeda says something. Yandy jumbles. The game will be permanently altered by one truth. However, Yandy played one last card just when Rasheeda believed it was done. In a preview video that was posted online, she sat down with Tasha Kai, the queen of controversy herself. "I tried to protect Rasheeda," Yandy explains. Trying not to cry. Tasha K leans in, even regarding the covert business arrangement with Kirk. "I even covered for things she begged me to keep quiet, but since she wants to act brand new, tell it all." All of it is nodded by Yandy. Cut the dot boom dot. The internet erupted once more. What covert arrangement did Rasheeda and Kirk still have? Had she been manipulating others while pretending to be the victim? Once more, fans were split. Despite her mess, Yandy also received receipts. Rasheeda needs to respond to this. Just release the entire raw footage at this point. We must see everything. The slap turned into the spark in an instant. However, the fire had only just started. The countdown was ended. At last, Tasha K's exclusive interview with Yandy was released. And in the world of hip-hop, it detonated like a nuclear bomb within 60 seconds of becoming live on YouTube. People were in disarray only by looking at the thumbnail. Yandy is crying. Rasheeda never showed loyalty. She simply had the right appearance. Yandy sighed into the camera and dabbed at her eyes as the video began. Even though Rasheeda didn't deserve it, I remained faithful to her. Throughout her turmoil, her fictitious split from Kirk, and even the side brand deals she kept a secret from everyone, I remained silent. With her trademark smile, Tasha K leaned forward. "But let's speak about the money." Yandy gave a nod. "I'm done with his energy because Rasheeda and Kirk are still doing business and cashing checks together. It's a front. She will never leave that man. The agony has simply been renamed." Boom. The internet went bananas. I have clips. Every blog, website, and group chat was impacted by the interview. Kirk is still tied to Rasheeda. Yandy selected a reverse card and let everything out after all that sobbing. The largest turnabout since Fedra dragged Candy during the reunion in season 9. However, she was already 10 steps ahead. Rasheeda. While everyone was still analyzing Yandy's interview that evening, Rasheeda went live once more. This time on national television. Yes, Rasheeda decided to speak with none other than Tama Mallory in an exclusive primed interview with Revolt TV. Rasheeda's reaction to Accusations. Tamika did not refrain. "You lied. That you're still working with Kirk. That your separation was for show. Are any of those things true?" Yandy asked. Rasheeda sat erect, not even blinking out of place. Tammy leaned forward and said, "So, you're saying she's lying? I never said I was perfect. But what I won't allow is a woman who smiled in my face while stabbing me in the back to twist my journey for views." "I'm saying Yandy left out some context." Rasheeda grinned. Then, out of nowhere, Rasheeda produced a printed, dated, notarized contract. She held it up and stated, "This is the buyout agreement that Kirk and I signed months ago. I now own 100% of my brands. Kirk received his payout, and the paperwork proves it." Boom. The live crowd applauded, and Tama nodded. Those brand deals she mentioned are the same ones she attempted to replicate 6 months later. Let's not be foolish. Social media exploded. That's how you dispel a rumor, not with tears, but with papers. Yandy had better go missing for a few weeks since this isn't looking good. However, Rasheeda didn't stop there. She went straight to the camera. People were cheering like it was the Super Bowl, and even Mona reposted a video with the caption, "Who Rasheeda ain't come to play this season. You leaked private messages, pictures of my family, and pretended to be worried. You tried to make it seem like I slapped you over a small insult. But now the truth is out and I stand by that." Backstage at VH1 studio, Candy was furious as she watched the Revolt broadcast. Her PR team was collapsing. She had contracts. And she really brought legal documents on live TV. She flipped it. However, Yandy wasn't finished yet. She continued, "I got more. She thinks it's over. It ain't." She took out her phone and started scrolling through a video that she had saved but hadn't yet made public, which was from the reunion that was shot backstage during a commercial months prior. Rasheeda is shown screaming to Bambi during the break, saying, "I swear, if Mona don't give me more camera time this season, I'ma fake a breakdown or something. I'm tired of carrying this show while these chicks leak nonsense." Ye smiled. Let's see how real she want to be now. A few hours later, the video was released to Hollywood Unlocked, with a caption. Rasheeda had planned to fabricate drama in order to boost ratings, but the war had turned around once more. Now that she was under fire, she had planned all of this for camera time, not by calling other women leakers and then doing the same. Before the backlash could intensify, Rasheeda released a statement. It was not a tweet or a video, but rather a handwritten letter that was posted on her official Instagram story. It had a black background and white cursive, and it was powerful. What you saw was a woman who was fed up with remaining silent while her name was exploited. Fans were divided once more, but the majority continued to support Rasheeda regardless of whether she was caught plotting drama or not. Yes, I've carried this show. Yes, I've struggled to be heard, but I've never needed to fake grief. My tale was already real enough. The VH1 rap party was supposed to be a civil celebration of another successful love and hip-hop season, with no scripts, no cameras, just drinks, music, and canned cast members finally letting go after months of on-screen mayhem. But when Rasheeda entered wearing a shimmering black gown and diamond-studded heels, everyone turned to stare at her. She appeared strong, self-assured, and unperturbed, like a woman who had fought her battles and won. Spice, Carly Red, and Bambi hurried over to congratulate her, saying, "Girl, you shut the entire network down with that Revolt interview." "Let a be *******H, stated Spice. "Now give it a try." Carly drank her champagne as Bambi continued, "Yandy wasn't even invited tonight, right?" "Wrong. Because the DJ's music abruptly stopped as Rasheeda and her girls were settling into their VIP area. Security began whispering at the door. Phones went up and through the smoke glass entrance, and Yandy, dressed in a blood-red jumpsuit with her claw still on, entered the room uninvited, unapologetic, and prepared for battle. Manager. The entire club froze. Rasheeda's head slowly moved, her jaw tightened. Carly glanced over, and she thought, "Oh, hell no." Security approached Yandy. Yandy raised a single finger, saying, "You're not on the guest list. I'm here to talk. Don't touch me." She proceeded directly to Rasheeda's section, and the DJ turned off the music entirely. Everyone stopped breathing as the two ladies faced up once more, this time in heels and sequins without any cameras to fake it. "You got a lot of nerves showing up here," Rasheeda muttered with icy eyes as Yandy took her off. Yandy shrugged and said, "You finished the moment you aired my business with Tasha K. You aired mine with Mona. We even now." Rasheeda got up. "I didn't come to fight, came to finish it." Rasheeda simply stated, "You don't get to decide what even looks like," without raising her voice. "Not when you pulled my family along. Let's not do this here, y'all," Carly said as she stood between them in an attempt to defuse the situation. Yandy yelled, "No. You've done messed up," Carly said to the girl. "You leaked footage," Rasheeda said, turning to face the audience. "You are now trespassing at a party where nobody even wanted you after lying about business." Yandy responded with a yell. Rasheeda laughed. "Baby, my image was built on resilience. Yours was built on betrayal." She then dropped the microphone, not in a metaphorical sense. "You're mad because I exposed your image. That's it. That's it. Literally. RASHED. A turned to the audience, grabbed the wireless microphone from the DJ booth, and declared, "Let this be the last time anyone underestimates Rasheeda. I'm not a plot point. I'm the norm. And tonight is the end of this false queen vibe." The crowd went crazy. The actors began applauding. Sierra and Erica Mena, who were once friends, nodded in agreement. Yandy just turned around and walked away. Frozen, there was stillness. No answer. No press release. Additionally, she was inundated with questions from paparazzi as she left the venue. "Do you intend to leave the show? Do you feel bad about the interview with Tasha K? Did you actually attempt to ruin Rasheeda's store?" Even though Yandy remained silent, the damage had already been done that evening. #Rasheeda Thuston became popular all around the world. TikTok was inundated with party footage. That's how a true boss deals with calm collected. Yandy was exposed once more after being expelled from the rap party due to evidence. Disable everything. This season has completely changed. Now, Rasheeda is the primary character. Executives gathered around a table at VH1 headquarters, astonished by the response to the drama. The franchise is no longer for her. One executive stated that the mess is no longer necessary. The narrative now belongs to her. The choice was made. A standalone spin-off would be offered to Rasheeda. There is no ensemble cast. No FAK. There was still a reunion part 2 to air, and everyone knew that if Yi showed up, it would either be her redemption or her ultimate downfall. The air was thick when the doors opened.